Look over there. Is that a bird?
No, I think it's a plane.
Yeah, you're right. It's pulling a banner.
The brighter side.
Hi, I'm Sarah Albertson, host of The Brighter Side, a show showing a brighter side of the world. Weekly guests who are sharing their stories in hopes of moving and inspiring others to do good in our world. The brighter it is, the better.
I want to experience the brighter side.
Listen Wednesday afternoons at 4 and Sunday nights at 11:30 on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Bring on the positivity.
The Voice of Nassau Community College.
I love this station.
90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD Garden City.
.3 WHPC, WHPC HD, Garden City. This is from the Press Box right here on your radio, also on your streaming device at www.ncc.edu/WHPC, or maybe the TuneIn app, maybe there. Today is May 29th, 2017, and we have a special message for...
Two big days. It's one day, but there's two big things.
First of all, it's our sister Suzanne's birthday.
Happy
birthday, Suzanne. My foot is killing me. I'm not sure if we're going out today.
Or
maybe just dinner.
Do you know she is the only one of our siblings who does not have her own radio show?
She wants to do a podcast.
About what?
I don't know.
Okay.
She's been listening to David Axelrod's podcast.
That's some sibling rivalry there, I think.
Yeah, and she's like, well, podcast. I'm like, well, maybe you should do a podcast.
Do a podcast.
Well, maybe. You know,
it's easy.
Suzanne has a lot to say.
Use the iPad.
Yeah. Also, today marks the third anniversary of the premiere of this show back in 2014.
How about that?
From the Press Box, we thank Jim Green, the then program director, for putting us on, and Sean Novat for keeping us on. He's the current program director here, or director, we should say. So we thank both of them because, they're the reason we're here. Of course, this show's also on Spreaker.com afterwards for historic purposes.
Yes.
If you want to hear the show, our podcast.
By the way, Suzanne Leonard just joined the Facebook live chat right after we wished her a happy birthday.
Well, we just wished her a happy birthday. Happy birthday,
Good timing, sister.
So she's already healed from her operation.
The hip.
The hip
is good.
You know?
Titanium.
Yeah. She can't go through airports now.
Yeah, sure she can.
Well, she needs a.
She just
I
has
think she
to
needs
tell
a
him.
note.
She just has to tell him. Yeah. Look, I had a hip replacement.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's all.
You need a doctor's note or something.
Nah, the doctor said that was not necessary. You just tell him that's the reason why the thing is going off. Yeah.
And today, because it is our anniversary show, we try to bring some big names in. And so we start off with JP Pelzman, Rutgers beat writer for the Asbury Park Press now. We will also have Wallace Matthews, now writing for the New York Times. What?
You're putting the paper in front of the Facebook Live.
Sorry, what am I supposed to do?
Well, leave it
on
my
notes. And Andy Vasquez will be calling in.
You know who I tried to get?
No,
but I was unsuccessful.
Who'd you try?
Michael Rosenbaum, who you probably don't even know who he is because you're a shut-in. He played Lex Luthor on the show Smallville,
which was on the WBCW, whatever.
Exactly. Who is known to me. He is remember my old roommate Dave Rosenbaum?
I do.
That's Dave's nephew.
Okay.
So we were actually supposed to go out the last time he was in the city. I was going to take him to Chinatown. But I had actually reached out to him on Twitter. He's at like some Comic-Con thing in San Diego.
He's going to do that the rest of his life.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he? I would too if I was him.
And
but he's also a huge hockey fan. So I wanted to bring him on to talk Stanley Cup Finals. But
I heard today. I heard a sportscaster say you don't say Stanley Cup Finals, you say Stanley Cup Final.
Final, yeah, it's singular.
Yeah,
the NBA Finals, but it's the Stanley Cup Final. I don't really understand why, because it's both 7 games. They said
there's multiple games.
But they said it's, in the NHL there's only one final, and I'm like, well, yeah, but in the NBA there's also only one final.
But then it's like now it used to be RBIs, and now it's RBI.
RBI.
Yeah, because technically it should be R's BI.
Yeah, well,
but no one's going to say that.
No,
so
it's ridiculous.
But I love the way things all of a sudden get corrected.
They evolve.
They evolve.
Yes.
So we will be talking to JP in a few minutes.
A little bit. We're going to
start
open
off
up the
with
show.
He's been on the show.
You with
he's been on the show the most, I think.
Yes. If we had,
Christy Ackhart was in a running front.
Ackhart, yes.
Ackhart. What did I say?
Ackhart. I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
JP. If we had SNL Saturday Night Live just recently brought out those 5-time jackets.
Right.
Alec Baldwin got one. Tom Hanks got one.
The Rock got one.
Was he on 5 times?
I guess he was.
I was stunned by that.
I was stunned.
I think Melissa McCarthy got one also.
Yeah.
But JP would definitely have a jacket by now.
Yeah.
So the from the press box
Does he need a
version
jacket?
of the
Because
green
he might
jacket.
ask just for the hell of it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to look. I'll have to get a size from him.
Yeah. He ain't getting no jacket. So quickly, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Nashville Predators in the Stanley Cup Final.
How about that?
I'm shocked a little bit, but then again,
Should be shocked. It's shocking.
I really think that Pittsburgh is going to win this, just based on.
It's not really going out on a limb, but that's probably how the way most people are seeing it.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, the Predators are undoubtedly the surprise team of the postseason, and that goes for the NHL or NBA combined. The Predators were the second wild card in the Western Conference. So to put that into perspective for people, the Islanders just missed being the second wild card in the Eastern Conference.
Right.
I mean, literally, they up until almost the last game, they were in it, and I think it was the Bruins that beat them out for it.
I believe so.
So.
It
would have been the Island. It could have been the Islanders. It would have been the equivalent in the Eastern Conference to what the Nashville Predators have done. And from what I saw on NHL.com last night, the Predators actually were the 16th seed in the playoffs, which means they had the least number of points of any team that qualified for the playoffs. And now they're playing against the Penguins, who are the reigning Stanley Cup champions and have the opportunity to win the first back-to-back Stanley Cup titles since 1997-98 when the Detroit Red Wings did it. That was Steve Yzerman for
Wow,
Stevie Y.
I'm kind of shocked. I didn't know they had a spread of talent like this in the NHL.
Well, when you look at what's happened in recent years in the NHL, the Pittsburgh Penguins have won a few cups. The Chicago Blackhawks have won a few cups. There have been teams that have won multiple cups over a few years, but nobody has been able to do it back-to-back.
Yeah, the Islanders, 4 in a row. They won 19 straight playoff series out of 20.
Exactly.
I mean, that's not happening again.
No, well, I would find it hard to believe because two things have changed. I mean, number one, free agency is alive and well in the NHL, and number two, there's now salary cap in place.
Yeah.
So it hamstrings teams from building that kind of dynasty because when you're successful like that, your players are going to want more money as they grow in stature in the league, and so you have to make hard decisions, and you have to also have talent coming up through the pipeline to say, all right, now player A can replace this guy. Like Ken Morrow when he came up with the Islanders, he replaced an older defenseman who was probably making more money, and when Ken Morrow got there, I'm sure he was on a minimum contract because he was just a draft pick coming in. So that
he came in after the
Olympics, yeah. But still, I mean, his contract was for minimal money, whereas a veteran, even if it was a mediocre veteran, would be earning more than Ken Morrow was, just based on the fact that he was around the league for 5 or 10 years or whatever it was. So that's how teams can keep dynasties going, but that's obviously not an easy thing to do,
right? Because
how often do teams have talent ready to put into the lineup? And also don't lose some of their best players to free agency. If you have that good of a team, other teams are coming after your players because they want to be that good. So that's why it's more difficult these days. Salary cap and especially the salary cap, but also the free agency.
It's changed a lot, and what's changed also about the NHL. Just sometimes they show old games on the NHL Network. Depending on the team, I'll watch it.
Right.
Just the fact that the center line isn't in play anymore. In the sense that
that's opened up the game, but
the
game
is
still
so much
defensive.
faster. It's so much faster now.
Well, I mean, that's just natural ability now. I mean, look at the goalies and how much better they are.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes,
the equipment has gotten. Yeah, I was going to say yes, the equipment has gotten bigger. The goalies have gotten bigger, but they're also quicker, and it's that's why they took the red line out of play, because they needed to speed up play because everybody's gotten bigger and faster.
Yeah,
but everybody's also playing so much defense.
But they also won't do the European thing with the bigger rink,
because they can't.
They can. They just
they have to yank out seats.
Yeah, that's why they won't do it.
And reconfigure buildings. Do you realize how expensive that is?
It's not that hard.
It is.
It isn't.
It really is.
It really isn't.
It really the cost is something that teams would never go for.
Also, the NBA Finals. God, how long does it take to start this up?
It doesn't start until Thursday.
I know. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
I know why they do it. They want it in June. It's they get really good ratings in June. But it seems like it just seems like the last game was a year ago.
I will be completely honest. I am so beyond caring about the NBA Finals. The third year in a row for the Golden State Warriors and Cleveland Cavaliers. Each one of them has won one title in the last 2 years. Everybody saw this final coming.
Of course.
The Cavaliers have not lost a playoff game yet, and the Cavaliers lost one playoff game to the Celtics, who were the number one seed, and Cleveland blew them off the court, including a record halftime lead in one game where my boy Mikey Frazier was at that game. Nice choice of games. Actually drove from Troy, New York to Boston to go to the game. But also, the Warriors have not lost a playoff game. So this is how dominant both of these two teams are. And you start talking about dynasties and superior teams. And I know there are some people who are fans of that concept, and they like it to see a team like Golden State dominate the league and to see the Cavaliers dominate the league, or they like seeing a UConn women's basketball team win 111 games in a row. They like that because it is rare. It's rare to see that kind of thing.
This is this generation's version of Boston, LA.
True, but I'm kind of getting sick of it.
Why? I think it's great.
It would be good if there was
Michael
a
Jordan was there
team.
every year. Not every year, but seemingly every year. Everyone was happy.
But it would be good if there was a third team in play. And there isn't. That's the problem.
Well, the third team that came out of the Lakers, Boston, was the Pistons.
Right.
And then after that, it was Chicago.
It was the Bulls.
Yeah.
But right now, there's no third team. The Celtics, and let's face it, the Celtics are in a great position because they're going to get a great player, more than likely Markelle Fultz from the NBA draft, because they have the number one overall pick. Thank you, Brooklyn Nets. And actually, I didn't even realize this. I actually looked this up because I wanted to see if this was the last pick of that atrocious trade. As it turns out, it's atrocious. And the Celtics get one more pick from the Nets next year.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It doesn't end with that.
It's such a bad
gift that
trade.
never ends.
I mean, and I'm hoping that the Knicks can get that pick in a trade for Carmelo Anthony, because I'm hoping that the Celtics will have some sort of reactionary panic after getting destroyed by the Cavaliers and say, hey, we need somebody else.
The draft is after the finals, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Celtics are going to pick Markelle Fultz as a point guard.
Okay.
There's only so much. I mean, Isaiah Thomas is a point guard. So there's going to be, there's going to be an issue there. And I don't know how the Celtics are going to resolve it unless they play the two of them in the backcourt together, kind of like a Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe kind of backcourt,
right,
where both guys are capable of handling the ball, directing an offense, and scoring points. I mean, that, to me, would be the best way to go. But the Celtics are kind of guard-heavy right now. So are they going to trade somebody, one of their good young players, to get some bigger guys? They need some size. They need a couple guys who can bang and do the rebounding work and scoring down low, because you're not going to win games by shooting from the outside. Although the Warriors have proven that wrong, but you need both sides of it. So
we're going to take a
that's
break.
Where we are.
We're going to take a break right now. Today is our third anniversary show, Tim. We have people waiting to call in.
Happy anniversary, brother.
A happy anniversary, brother. We haven't heard each other, though there was a time you were mean to me on the air. So
wow, talk about selective memory.
I remember that. I cried for years.
Go to break.
Anyway,
we got people to talk to.
JP Pelzman from the Asbury Park Press on right after this. You're listening to you're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC. Tim, you're on Twitter at
Real Tim Leonard.
Okay.
Yo. Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out. another family kicked off an airplane.
A new one?
For a stupid reason. They got kicked off of an airplane because of a birthday cake.
What?
They brought a birthday cake on, and they were going to store it in the overhead bin, which is a little strange, putting a cake in an airplane.